So let's kind of start with some of the information I have it here. So this is kind of what I post here today in the morning. I said DJT is about to do something a little crazy, okay? And these are the fractals, and then of course I'm gonna dive in a little deeper with this PC monitor because it's kind of hard to see with the monitor, not monitor, sorry, the mobile phone, right? So it's kind of very small. So but you kind of get the idea. You see what's going on. um and I think we are at the end of it. We might see some pullback before this rip, or we could just go upside, right? I think we are at the point where like it can go anytime, but so I kind of wanted to talk about today. But let me start with this one as what Edwin shared. He said cash is coming. He said cash is the Cash Patel. He's the I'm pretty sure you guys already know who he is, and then he's gonna be the FBI director, right? Director of FBI. And then he says he's gonna send DJT probably, right? It's very interesting because as he becomes as if he becomes the FBI director officially, there's people post on videos and stuff, and then saying, if he got appointed, the Epstein list is gonna be out right away. Right? It will be released, on the same day that he get back to the office, right? He get to the office. So I think something's gonna happen very soon, within 2 weeks. It could be a faster. Also, I wanted to talk about the inauguration, official inauguration day before, a long time ago, like 1789 or something like that. It was March, so March 4th is about a couple weeks away, right? 2-3 weeks away, right? So I think between this time when the Kash Patel is gonna be the officially FBI director, somebody said it's gonna be determined by end of this week, by Friday or so. So something could happen, right? So if he becomes director of FBI, he could release the Epstein list. That could also impact the market. It will be not, it's not gonna be good for the for the financial people, right? Especially who are controlling this whole maybe market, or who might be the big names. I have no idea. It could be politicians that we might know. So something could hit the market, and then of course it's not good for the short sellers. And also not FBI, sorry, the CEO of DJT, Devin Newsom, he's also mentioning a lot of naked short sellings in the markets, and then especially Citadel, States, all that kind of market maker, hedge funds and stuff. So I do think that something's gonna happen within 2 to 3 weeks. So I bought some call options expiring mid March. I think I got it March 14 or March 21st, something like that. And then I bought some out the money. So I think something's gonna happen here. And also call options got really cheap. So I think why not, right? I think it's a good chance. Obviously this is a speculative thing, but also I'm looking at the fractals also. I don't think. I mean, I know the fact that based because I've been tracking DJT. When before DJT got elected, right? Before actually U.S. Election happened, which was in November, this thing start to kicks off and then start a big rally here, which I do think we are tracking this one, which is 2023 November to January 24 last year. Okay. So it seems, to be honest, they're already repeating the same cycle from here, from 2023. There was a gap up. So, before this thing gapping up to squeeze, they also pop this up and then pull back and then gap this up, right? So basically this area is the same thing, and also this one. So it's more expanded because they need more time to accumulate, and then they have to run this thing. So I think there's a reason why they spend more time to accumulate in order to run this thing bigger time, in my opinion. But anyway, so I'm seeing a similar cycle here. So and then there's a pullback here. So if you apply the same fractals here, it also matches with this one. Okay, so this fractals match with this one. So I'm seeing that kind of thing. And then when you apply to this fractals, I think there was like 6 times or 8 times naked shorts around here. So they just naked short sales on this one, crush the stock price, and then let this go right on this one, which is this phase. Now we're at to see this gap up squeeze phase. So I do personally think that something's gonna happen here. I don't know what the trigger will be, but I think I like the idea of the Cash Patel. He's gonna be the we don't know yet, but Cash Patel might be. I think there will be a decision making this week, right? So something could trigger DJT, right? And then he might do something with the naked short sellers. Who knows, right? So it's the short sellers who are manipulating the stock price might go in trouble, right? Might be in trouble. So before they get into trouble, maybe they want to short covering on this one. So maybe that blow up the stock again, right? So it's kind of rinse and repeat, I guess. But so let's talk about that a little bit, okay? So this is also inauguration day, March 4th. That's like long time ago, 1870 something like that, or 1789. That's like first inauguration day. So when you think about that, I think somewhere between end of maybe it could start next week or it could start this week. But if it's early, it could start maybe end of this week, right? Or if it's a little late, maybe it could be end of the February, right? And then March. Also, somebody shared this with me yesterday. I was, since I start sharing some of the TAs, some of the people who reach out to me and then share their opinions, and I really appreciate that. So there's some guy who shared their thoughts that he mentioned about the Japanese interest rate hike, right? And then that also is related to our meme basket stock rally, right? So last time Japanese interest rate hike happened March 2024. 2 months later, GME AMC squeeze, right? So about a month ago, end of January, there was the not a month ago, sorry about that, maybe 2 weeks ago, Japanese interest rate hike happened, another 0.2%. And then if we follow the similar kind of pattern here, we could see a rally, right? If you add a T plus 35 days from the interest rate hike from Japan, they'll bring you to end of February, right? So I'm curious if that will also be the cause, okay? A lot of hedge funds and market maker might have been, borrowing a lot of money from Japan, or maybe, and bring that into the US market. They fuck around with it, whatever. And then now interest rate is going up from Japan. They have to, pay that back money. But now interest rate, because I don't know how much they borrow money using the Japanese interest rate. I don't know how much, but nowadays it's time to for them to pay back. So maybe I don't know. They gotta cover some short positions, and maybe they have to liquidate some of the long positions, such as Nvidia or Bitcoin, something like that, when some of the stock that have been pumping so much. So that's kind of speculated thing that I'm kind of looking at right now in terms of the cycle and market. So let's take a look at a little bit deeper here. So when you take a look at what happened here in 2023, right? So November, there was a one rally. Very interestingly, before U.S. election happened, they have been rallying this, right? They've been maybe short covering this thing, right? So they kicked this off, making people more bullish. Some people think that, DJT will squeeze and all that stuff. But as I was tracking fractals, and I realized I was seeing a pattern that, okay, DJT is not going to squeeze, it's going to dump instead. And then I was right? So when the November month hits, it just pullback happened, right? And a lot of people might say like, oh yeah, like Donald Trump got elected, but how come the stock price doesn't move? Welcome to the Wall Street, right? That's the how Wall Street works, right? So yeah, they like to pump this thing, bring the people, in. They dump it to them, right? Who bought the stock, right? So they're using those as psychological, way, right? So people who bought into DJT, they're trying to like, oh yeah, like I bought it because DJT is gonna, he's gonna get elected, and then this thing will rip. Nothing happened. But instead, what happened here is this is I think tracking the very similar way of this one before this gap up squeeze happened. So when you look at this one, so I broke this down to A, B, C, D, E, which is much easier for you guys kind of to break it down into some of the patterns here, so that you can kind of identify things a little easier for you, for your eyes. So this A phase, let's take a look at this. A is the rally phase, right? So we saw that rally, right? It's just go ups and down, and then hit the rally. RSI is overbought territory. Hit this first area. There was a pullback, and then pop again, in RSI, making a cat face, which is also showing here, similar to this one, double top kind of way, and then after that, it crashed. I mean, it has a pullback, right? So that's what happened here. Pullback happened. So I think that's A phase. You're seeing this two times, and then maybe crash, and then maybe this is the B phase. Now we're seeing the second phase, right? So this thing drop, pop here, drop, pop here, right? Very similar pattern, right? Very similar pattern, right? And that's the B phase, and hit the bottom, right? And heading into the C phase, which is next wave, third wave, right? This C phase was very hard to track, I guess, but because of the time difference, right? When you look at this between the B, C, A, it looks very similar time, the time, right? Maybe it might be maybe a few hours difference, maybe a few days difference. But here from A, B, C, it has a quite a bit of a long distance here, from B to C. It's a little, some part, the candles are a little apart away from this A, B, and this C, right? Compared to this one. So sometimes they just drag it out, They drag it out until, I don't know, like they make the same pattern, but the algo, like that's the part of the thing is the figuring out the speed of algo is I think extremely difficult, and I think once you figure that out, I think it's much easier to kind of see things. So now I've been kind of tracking. I mean, a lot of people, might not like about the put options, all that. But for me, I'm really just trying to learn as a trader, and also I want to, test the fractals. So I posted this one last night. Today, I guess. Yeah, today in the morning. So I bought some put options here, just to test the fractals, and I know that GME is gonna rip from the bottom, so I'm testing it out, right? There might be people say, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong all the time, and I think it's because also it's really difficult to find about the fractals and where this thing is actually going, right? And once I kind of figured it out a little, how what kind of fractal they're kind of playing, what their cycle they're gonna repeating, and I want to really test it out, the fractals, and then I bet on it and I made money, right? So so I'm going for between an option, in terms of option trading, I'm just kind of going in and out, just to test myself, like, is it working? Yeah, it seems like it's working. So so yeah, I'm really just testing out, see how it plays out. So I'm kind of working on that. So yeah, so I think DJT is also another practice for me. So yeah, let's see, if this works, yeah, make some profits, right? So anyway, so ABC went through all that. we saw there was some sort of a gap up here. I think it was a gap. I'm not sure it was a gap up here, but anyway, so there was a little pop out of sudden, right? I think you guys remember that. And then, you know, I thought maybe that could be D, right? So maybe we are almost heading into the final, this, you know, maybe a little bit of a final pullback phase before this gap up squeeze, right? So, now I'm looking at this one because the this on the right side is 2023, and then at the time the algo was a lot faster compared to where it's now is slower. So that's why my time frame is different. So here on the left side, which is current time, this is 8 hour. On the right side, because the algo was a lot faster to match with the current time, I have it as a 3 hours. So when you look at it, I have this kind of indicator here says short, right? And you see kind of similar spot where there says short here, right? And after some times later, you know, within this time frame here, I don't know how much, but maybe a few days later, this thing gap up. So because let's calculate the actually thing, you know, then I think it might be easier for me to kind of track. So from the bottom to the bottom before gap up, it takes about 77 days. Okay, so let's calculate how much it's gonna take. So from here to the top, so it takes about 36 days. From here to the top, it took about 31 days, right? And maybe like about 5 days apart, right? Just difference. So that means this is 77 days. So if I this is now 140 days. So I think it's almost like twice number from here. So it's like exactly almost twice. So we might, I don't know, like sometimes some area is like longer, especially C area. So I'm not sure, it's hard to track, but yeah, when you look at the RSI, let's see. Let's take a look at this one. My internet is like cut off, like on and off, like fucking crazy. I don't know. I hope this is working. If not, I might just cut this off and then maybe do another stream here. But when you look at RSI, it's kind of same thing, right? You know, this thing went up from the top, bottom, to the C phase, D phase. It was a lot faster. Right now it's a lot slower, but it's making a same pattern. The RSI drop here, I mean, from the D when this thing hit the bottom. I mean, yeah, here, pullback happened here. Exactly, it's kind of same thing. You know, when I brought the arrow, right, from here to here, very similar pattern here. Push up, come down, push up, come down, right? Push up, come down, and I think there was a little bit of a pullback after that. So I think we might see some sort of a pullback, I think. Possibly, right? So before gap up, right? So we might see a, I don't know, maybe like drop on the, let me see. So I think we are here. Yeah, I think we are here. So we might see a, yeah, I think it might already drop here. So I think we just go up. I don't know. That's the thing about the the fucking OBS is like keep getting cut. My internet is like getting cut because I think, yeah, my internet is so bad today because the snowstorm is actually coming here. Came here and it's happening right now. So I think that's why. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep it short. So anyway, so we might see a little drop here before gap up squeeze. Or it already did that, right? So from here, they went up to bottom, right? So let me pull this up a little bit bigger. So I think this phase is already happened here. So I think we are only what we have left is this phase. Yeah, only thing left is this part, this fractals, the yellow one, right? So but because the time frame is like, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but yeah, I think it's fucking OBS. My internet is so bad right now. But anyway, yeah, we might happen end of this week, maybe from Thursday. So yeah, you know, let's see how that goes. Oh my god, my internet is like keep just on and off. Let me change to this my mobile phone hotspot. Maybe that might works. We'll see. Connect automatically. Let's see if it's working. Alright, I hope this working better maybe. So anyway, so that's DJT guys. So it's gonna be either Thursday or Friday. I think we are very close. So this is the pattern we're seeing. Hold on 1 second. I want to show the zoomed in version here. So now you look at the bigger picture. Now you want to look at the tighter one now. Just to see. So now you saw this part. So I made a block, you know, here. So that's kind of where we are seeing here. So so we already went through this, right? So that's what happened here, this pullback. So now we only thing we have left is this part, which is, you know, push up, which is push up, pull back down. I think this might be pull back down, you know what I mean? And then there's another push up, which happened here, push up, and then pull back down, right? Another pull back down. So I don't know. I think we are very close. You see this? Hold on. Let me. Maybe it's just too distracting, or. But anyway, so this is the fractals I think we have left. Hold on 1 second. It's not even this one. 1 second. This is actually this part. So I'm gonna bring. Hold on 1 second. I gotta stretch this one out. Yeah. So this is actually this one. So 1 second, guys. I'm gonna copy this one. So yeah, I gotta copy this part. And just roughly, I'm just gonna get the top. Copy, paste. Bring the fractals here. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Is it better with my phone, I guess? Yeah, it's not cutting off anymore, right? Yeah, stupid, you know, the internet is so dumb here in Canada. So this is the fractals that we have left. 1 second here. So that's kind of like similar, isn't it? Right? So I think we're almost end of it, in my opinion. 1 second here. So where are we now? So this thing popped, which is this one. There was a pullback. So there's a pullback here, and this thing pop, pullback. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I was kind of mixing up here. So I think it's like here. Yeah, I think it already. Okay, so there was a. Hold on 1 second, guys. How come it just looks like weird stuff? 1 second, guys. Okay, I think it's this one. All right. So what I'm seeing here is the yeah, it's extremely difficult to kind of find this kind of, you know, stuff. But let me see. 1 second, guys. 1 second. So the you know, what after it hit this bottom, right? This thing popped, right? So as a final, this D phase hit the bottom. Now we're, I'm treating, I treat this as an E phase. So hit this bottom, hit the bottom, push up, and then pull back, right? So pull back, right? So that's complete. Now we are waiting for, and I'm seeing this one. You see, there was a pullback happen here, and this thing pop again, right? And pullback happened, right? So I'm seeing this one as a fractal where this thing dropped from the top to here. Little bit of a tiny candle up there, which I think that's what it is. And another final pullback happened, right? Right? So it's all complete, I think. I hope it's not wrong, but so that's complete. Now what we are waiting for is this fractals. Right? So this thing has to push up tomorrow a little bit, maybe $31 level, and then $31.50 something like that, and then pull back, and then this thing start to push up, right? So I think by Friday or next, I think it will be the gap up. Gap up will be next Tuesday, guys, because there's no Monday. It's a holiday, right? So you guys remember the GameStop people or AMC people? Usually the gap up happen after the holiday on Monday, right? So and then Tuesday gap up happen, right? Usually that happen at AMC GameStop. So I think it might be working kind of same way, in my opinion. I might be completely wrong, but there's a possibility that DJT could gap up next Tuesday on February 17. Okay, I might be wrong, but that's what happened, right? DJT gap up. How much was it? Like 7%, right? So if we are tracking the same way as this one, and then the Kash Patel, he's gonna be appointed as a director of FBI. He's about to release some shit, right? And then gap up happen. Tuesday market opens, Monday holiday, and boom, start kicks in, right? And then based on the fractals, I mean, of course, I have no idea actually how much this will go, and I don't know how much the shorts are piled in here. I know there's like a 6 times, 8 times naked shorts from last when they start to like like a short this thing. Like this is all naked shorts, right? So I don't know if they short cover all here, maybe they short here. I have no idea. So it really depends on the how much shorts piled in, and also what kind of news the Donald Trump is gonna release here, right? I think a lot of things could I think to be honest, guys, I've been talking to some other peoples, and then people who run businesses, and and people really don't like. Some people don't like about Donald Trump because of the tariff on Canada, especially the he start to he mentioned about the tariffs, 25% or 20% tariffs is gonna hit on the aluminum and then also steels. And then that's gonna be wipe out a billions. Okay, they're gonna wipe out the $1 billion the market in Canada, especially the aluminum and steel. So a lot of Canadians don't like about that kind of stuff, right? Because of that. But when you look at politically, right? When you look at the market, market as overall, as I'm looking at this as a trader or somebody who look at this as like a financial wise, right? He understand, I think, the market right now is heading into the bear cycle. The Bitcoin, Nvidia, everything has to crash, right? It's already showing the clear divergence, which I talk about that's on my YouTube channel, U-Mergency. Why Bitcoin crashed in 2025. I kind of walk you guys through for that. So I think that happened in 2017 or 18. Donald Trump also hit the tariff on Canada, right? On same aluminum and then steels, and that happened. for about a year, and then it brings out the market crash in the US, right? And also that happened in Canada too, right? So I think he understands the cycle in a bigger picture. So I do see why he does that, right? It's not just only the fractals, right? He has to work with the market events, and I think that's just kind of one of the market events that it has to bring down the price, right? Because of the cycle. But on the opposite side, right? On the other hand, the GameStop, AMC, the meme basket, the stock that heavily shorted, right? The stock that heavily naked shorted, those are gonna pop, right? Because in my opinion, the market maker will liquidate their assets from, such as Nvidia or Bitcoin, things like that. They have been pumping that for so much, and they need to grab those liquidity and rug pull them, and then use those liquidity to use that to short cover their short positions or something like that, right? It will be like just in a cycle, right? Like it's just continuation of the cycles, over and over again, right? Rinse and repeat, right? They pump the AI stocks, they pump the tech stocks. Yeah, it's time to dump, and then where they're gonna pump it after that? Naked short stock, right? The stock that they haven't been manipulated for so many years, right? So I know RC is gonna kick something off here too. I do believe that he's very intelligent guy. I do believe that Roaring Kitties, there's a reason why he came back last year, and then I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think the game is not gonna be over yet, right? I think this is the year that we're gonna see that kind of crazy another squeeze events that happen. And I think there's gonna be one more by early next year, might be, but especially for GME AMC. Let's move on to that one. Let's start with AMC actually first, guys, because AMC has been rallying it. I've been kind of talking about this, from my channel here. I wanna maybe share my post first. So I did kind of mention this AMC stuff yesterday, that it's kind of tracking. Where's the post here? Yeah, this is my post last night, right? Yesterday. So it's kind of tracking the 2020 November. Okay. So I mean, yeah, I cannot show you a whole picture because let's move on, right? You can do your fractals, but yeah, this is what I can show you. So this is whole fractals, I match with the RSI and all that stuff, and it's kind of going through the same way, right? But at the time they did a gap up, but instead of gapping up, they just run this thing. But I'm gonna show you a gap. They actually have some couple gaps here, and I do believe that there will be a potential share offerings by end of March or possibly April. And I'm gonna and then somebody also shared this with me, that Mike Vulgar, he mentioned that based on Q4 and Q1, I would expect a vote to authorize some shares or one more dilution based on the cash on hand, unless quarters have particularly high market shares and cash burn is minimal. You see in the chart, I see in the filings. Very smart guy, right? So he already checked in the filings that there's a possible one more dilution left, okay? And I do see that there's a possible share dilution, and that this will be the final, a big fucking giant the triangle formation is forming, and then after that, right? So this is a fractal where you see this is November 2020, this is the 2020 December, okay? So this 2020 December, they had a 100 fucking million share offering. Like, it was a fucking big one, okay? Let me bring I've got some filings that I have already saved in my folder. So this is 2020, guys. So this is 2020 November. That was the offering happened, right? It was a 20 million, okay? This is the one fucking giant one, which is 178 million shares offering 2020 December 11th, okay? And then that happened this area, okay? So I do expect a big share offering around this time, around end of March or April. And based on the speed of fractals, the way it's moving, there's a gap here at $4, and I do believe that it could maybe fill the gap by this week, or I think maybe it could happen on Tuesday, when things kind of gapping up. And then once this thing gap is filled at $4, I do expect a pullback because they left the gap here. I already kind of drew a box here for myself, but as you can see, they left the gap, right? Unless they don't fill the gap, I think they're gonna continue to move, bring the price up, leave the gap, and they're gonna come down to fill this gap after they touch this $4, after filling this $4 gap here, right? You see there's a $3.80 gap, $4 gap, and then they're gonna crash down here into the earning. Okay, they have a small tiny gap here. You see there's a small tiny gap here at $3.13, and I do believe that there's a reason why. I'm gonna explain why. The reason why they left a small tiny gap here is because, in my opinion, because when they do a share offering, they're gonna come down to fill this gap. The funny thing is, I post this on my video YouTube channel. A lot of people don't like to see this kind of stuff, but I have a very small views on this video that I mentioned that AMC didn't fill completely at a $3 gap, right? So this is the gap. You look at the views. Look, the views are like not much. Okay, so if there's anything that negative stuff, people are not really interested in, right? Unless they're curious. But most of the time, I'm getting like 1,000 views. Some videos I'm getting like a couple thousand views and things like that. Generally I'm getting more than 1,000 views, but especially this kind of stuff, people don't like to see this kind of gap is not filled, like oh yeah, fuck, who the fuck are you, right? But you want to see this carefully, because if you're there, they seems to running the same 2020 fucking Fractal here. They didn't fill the gap completely, and that really makes me wonder why, right? You see, there was a $3 gap. There's a huge $3 gap that they left from the May run, right? So May run happened like a couple 100% or 300%, but they gap up, right? And then they using that gap up, but they came down to fill this gap, but they only filled partially, not up to here at $2.94, which means this gap will be used to be filled when they do a share offering. So I just want you to know that anybody who play options, or even who are buying shares, doesn't matter. Don't be deceived by this type of a short-term rally. I think this will be the final bottom, and then I think you could take advantage on that, right? So I think there's always reason why the market maker do this kind of stuff, leave some gaps and all this kind of stuff, right? So based on the fractal that I have here, and then unless they don't change the speed, I think it's possible that we could see potential share offerings in April. Now it's getting delayed. I'm sorry, but it's getting delayed. But the thing is, they can speed this up, right? This right now, I'm looking at this as a what do you call that? I'm looking at this as a the 2020 fractals, but they can always run this thing faster, right? Some parts they'll run faster, some part they drag it out a little longer, right? It really depends. So I can't really tell you right now until I see the final confirmation, but right now, based on the fractals, it says April 24. So that will be April. Okay, for now, this is just placeholder. Okay, and then this thing hit bottom June. Okay, and then this thing rally happened in July. Okay. So there's a gap here. okay, so I'm gonna talk about this later, but I think in July squeeze, if that happens, June or July, whatever, depending on how fast run this thing, the AMC, I do believe that it's gonna go up to $60 level. And people might think I'm joking, but I find something very interesting. I don't know if I should talk about this today or not, but I'll talk about this next time. Maybe I'm just sharing too much information today, so I'll keep this one for later. But I found something very interesting, so I'll probably share this later when we hit all this kind of points, and I think I can talk about this later. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So just we gotta wait for the summer. It is what it is, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Let's finish off with GameStop here. So I want to share something very interesting today. The price action here. So how do I explain this one? You know what? Yeah. So there's I don't know how to explain this one. Okay, so there's a two fractals I'm looking at, but I think it's more likely going into the original fractal that I'm tracking. Let's just show you quickly the how the RSI is working right now. So I'm a believer that I was looking at both 2020 fractals into the 2021 Gen squeeze, and I was also comparing between a 24 May run, right? How Roaring Kitty kind of build up and then make it into the rally. It was extremely fast, but maybe there's a reason why he came back at the time, right? Because he want to create the fractals and maybe repeat the fractals like DJT. So this accumulation happened here, rally happened, right? I mean, it's extremely like 80 times. How many times is this? Only takes about 8 days. Now it's 105 days. It's crazy, but it is what it is. What can we do? It's like 10 times longer, maybe even more. But maybe they want to run this big time. That's why they're taking way longer. So that's kind of what I was kind of testing. I saw this pattern here and I want to test it myself. So that's why I bought some put option, I bought some call option, just kind of really test the fractals. And then many times it hit the perfect spot, right? It hit the gains, so it was very nice. But also, so what's next, right? So the question is, what's next? So if we are, I do believe that we are tracking this one. I might be wrong, but I'm guessing that it's tracking this one based on the fractals and RSI comparison. So when you look at this one, so you see this that happened, right? This thing is gonna pop. I mentioned them on my from my tweets that happened. 10% gain, very nice. Now there's a pullback. I mentioned about that. Some people say, oh, it's gonna go up to 40. It's gonna be up to this and that. I said, no, it's not gonna do that. It's not gonna just squeeze right away. So there's a pullback. There you go, right? So this pullback happened, and I think it's just going for sideways a little bit, maybe, right? It might, if we do the same thing, and then this thing maybe pop, right? Maybe on maybe Tuesday, Thursday, maybe, or maybe I don't know. Because Tuesday is the gap up time, right? So we could see a gap up or something. We could see a pop. So I want to see this kind of 1, 2, 3 waves, right? So that's kind of these things. Let me see. Yeah, this thing here, the orange one. So we just finished the testing out the here. Now we gotta test out the second one, right? So which is gonna happen on February, possibly maybe tomorrow or Friday. If it's fast. If later, if it is gonna maybe a little late, maybe it could gap up on Tuesday next week, right? So it really depends how they run this thing. And then maybe another pullback happen, and then do a third one, right? So I think those are the one that I wanted to see some of the confirmation. And then once they create this kind of fractals, and then also the RSI is kind of going for sideways a little bit, and then this thing start to kicks off, right? So I want to see those kind of stuff. But one thing I want to share with you guys is that the way it kind of come down is very similar to this area. So I want to talk about that. Um, so you see how this thing push up, right? So this thing push up this way like that, and then this thing push down like that, right? The way it moves is very similar. So I was like, oh, it might go up like this. So I don't know, you know. I think it's more likely it will do more like this, like a May run, right? Before May run happened, right? So we might test this kind of 1, 2, 3, the waves, and then start to kick off the rally. I can't really tell you when this gonna rally, but I'm seeing that it's either gonna happen on February 20, like this week, 24th, 25th, like end of the week, end of the month, or early March. Really depends on how they're gonna run this thing. So yeah, somebody made somebody shared with me that I think somebody talks about how he also seeing end of February because of the Japanese the carry trade, not carry trade, the Japanese interest rate, right? So if you had a T plus 35 trading days from the Japanese recent interest rate hike, they'll bring you to end of February, right? So it makes sense. I like that kind of tinfoil. And also the another guy said, yeah, yeah, some people who look at the settlements, I think that's very interesting. Also, this guy, I don't know if I mentioned about this guy, the Dr. Eyeball. Very good. I like it. Yeah, I really like it. So Dr. Eyeball said he added 35 days since Rowan Kitty tweet about the I don't want to play anymore tweet, right, from the Toy Story scene. That, you know, if you he add 35 days calendar days plus trading days, all that kind of stuff. So from September 20th, add another 35-day trading days, calendar days, and another T plus 2, all that kind of stuff. They'll bring to October 28th. Nothing really happened. He adds another 35 days, all that, and trading days, and then December 5th time tweet happened and halt. And then he just add all those things, and and then that will bring another one. So add another 35 days, with the 2 trading days from the last Orange Kitty tweet. They'll bring us to a February 20, and he thinks that that's the start of the May run. So that's more likely like the next Thursday. He's seeing that. I'm seeing more like Monday or Tuesday, 25th or 24th. So yeah, he might be right. I might be wrong, But the point is, many people who look at people who look at the settlements, there are people who look at the Japanese, like the interest rate hike, all that kind of stuff. So whoever looking at other stuff, and I'm looking at the fractals, it all kind of similarly match, the time frame, right? End of February, right? That's when the rally kicks off, right? It's very interesting, Yeah, so I like the people who share a bunch of other information, and then and match it with my theory, and then most of the time 90% or 85% it somehow match. And I personally I don't really like to have a bias, because it's not really helpful, right? If I have some biased opinions for so long, and then I mean, yeah, based on my experience, it's not really great. So I like to have more open-minded thinking, and then just open to see what people think. They might be right, I might be wrong, but yeah, for now, I think the way I track, the way I see, it has been right. I'm kind of putting out there, I'm putting out the receipt. So yeah, I think once this thing happened, I think we could have a very nice March rally. And Bed Bath Beyond also, I think something's gonna happen with Bed Bath Beyond, and I don't know, what's the catalyst for GameStop. I don't know if it's just really just the Japanese, the interest rate stuff, or I don't know, carry trade stuff. I'm really curious. What will be the trigger here? Okay, what will be the trigger? And there's some of the dockets coming out from Bad Bath Beyond community. Hold on one second. There's I think there's a new dockets dropped today, and then this guy talks about March 4th. There's something's gonna happen here. So there's a BBBY court hearing and March 4th. Let's take a look at what happened March 4th here. So March 4th is around here. So something could happen here, which also could trigger GME, right? March 4th here, right? March 13 or 17 is around there. So something could trigger, right? I mean, I'm not saying that my fractal is correct, right? But that's just kind of what I'm seeing here. So something could trigger. So Ryan Quinn versus US, right? So there's some sort of what is this? Like this is like the pending, okay. So I think this is the acquisitions of Wells Fargo. So he acquired some Wells Fargo shares, but there's a penalty I think involved, and he had to pay for it. And then why all of a sudden RC got charged for that, right? And this happened like long time ago, like 2018. And then one of the very smart guy mentioned that Ryan Quinn is maybe going through the merger acquisitions, right? He has to report, right, the recent acquisitions, and now the regulator go back his history and then saw there's like, oh yeah, wait, you gotta pay fine for this, right? So they're checking, RC's history, and maybe they are, checking off all these things, just clearing out some of the things that RC has to, pay for, and then now they're moving on. So once this thing got cleared up, now maybe after that RC is about to snap his fingers and announce the M&A or something like that, right? So he thinks that March 4th is the day that maybe this thing is just get dismissed or something, or resolved, right? And same day BBY hearing. So yeah, what is this BBY hearings about? Oh, HRTC. Okay, so it's the same one. Very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, something could comes out March 4th and then kick off the rally again, right? So I do believe that everything is just like perfectly set up. Not everything is just not everything is just sort of a oh yeah, it just happened because of the events. Oh, Fractal just happened, the run happened just because of this and that, but everything is just perfectly set it up for a reason. The way it run, the way it pull back, why our when the Roaring Key came back last year, why he created the same fractals, and why we are kind of tracking very similar to this. You know what I mean? And then if we do follow this track fractals here, I mean, this thing's gonna be a fucking crazy. Like this March, we're gonna have a nice March rally, and then fucking like squeeze here in July or something like that. You know what I mean? Like June or July. It says June, but AMC says July. So those are the things that I really have to cautiously watch out for. These bottom, I'm tracking both because as you guys know, AMC and GameStop are all together. The basket stock, it's all basket. So I really gotta track how they're gonna split things up in some certain way. So let's say now AMC is kind of moving up now, right, and GameStop is kind of dumping, right? But when you look at it as a whole, okay, there's a gap there, and there's a reason why they left the gap, right? Because they want to fill that gap later. So AMC, look at this. AMC, push up, and then they're gonna dump this one, right? That's the February end of February. And after that, AMC is gonna do a run, right? After that, there's gonna be a pop here. So AMC pop, that's March. This is whole March area. And I think they're gonna run it faster here. So I think the speed will change. So I have to adjust based on the market makers, the speed. So if this kicks off on February, and this thing is a whole March rally, AMC will do the same, right? March, this is whole March. So AMC, I don't think it's gonna go up as much as GameStop, right? Because you guys remember, back in May, when GameStop did this kind of pullback and they start to a 50% rally here, and this is a this is a May 4th, May 3rd, May 2nd, like early May. When you go back AMC, what happened in last year May, early May, they did run little small, like they did go up a little bit, but it's not like run like GameStop, and then they have a pullback. So what this tells me is that they're not gonna have a squeeze until GameStop squeeze, right? And GameStop did a final squeeze in May run here. This thing is like a final like short squeeze, like, or I don't know, gamma squeeze, whatever you want to call this, gap up, like fucking squeeze. That's when AMC does, right? So AMC is not gonna have a crazy price when GameStop rally here first, right? That, I think that's the thing I'm looking at. So I think AMC is not gonna do much, in my opinion, in the March rally phase. They might do a small one, but not as much as GameStop. But when AMC enter into the final squeeze phase, which is either June or July, and I think it's really depending on the speed. So I do believe that maybe they want to speed this up here, so they want to make it faster to into May or something like that, right? So I think some speed, there's things you gotta watch out for is the speed, right? And then maybe this could be a June or something, or June or July. Really depends. But that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So yeah, hope this helps. And then yeah, let's take a look at how DJT is gonna move in next week, next Tuesday. So yeah, I think next week will be the fun week. So yep, that's it pretty much, guys. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and then I'll see you guys in next update. Thank you.